So I hope you enjoyed the afternoon and the information you've had so far. As usual, we're going to close with a bang, and we're going to do February updates and policies. I just want to tell you a little bit about what to expect. You know the drill. This is about our 7th or 8th year for many of you, so this year is a good year, and that there's very little new, so that's positive. A couple things that have changed is that after last year's trauma with the WHMIS online training that I think everybody had nightmares about, I knew that I couldn't show my face here again if I told you had to do that again this year. So we did not renew that program. What I have done instead is have purchased several copies of a WHMIS DVD that is about half an hour to watch. So you can watch it, do a little quiz, and you're done. We're also going to be doing, we've also planned a little bit different program for online training for workplace violence and lifting, which you only have to do once. And I'll be sending out the information on how to access that. It's free, it's online, it's through the Provincial Services Health and Safety Association, which is a Ministry of Labor site that provides resources to employers to help with training. So this is the community and healthcare sector part of that site. So it's resources designed for our sector. They're really pretty good. The deadline is going to be February 27th to get this done, so we will be doing it through the month of February. I'll have the packages out to your managers next week, and you'll have a month to do it. Really appreciate that you do try your very best to get it done within the month. I know some people have already been on it, because I know some people have already told me they've done their reading already because they're getting ahead of the game because they're going on vacation or whatever. And it's really important that we have this. I know it's not particularly fun to have to reread this stuff all the time, but we do have compliance from the ministry regularly. We will be coming back this year. That documentation, that sheet I have that says when you did all of these things saves us so much time for them to say, when they want proof of, or they want to know what training you've been done, if you've been done it up to date, if you've done your annual review, and I pull that out and show them that, we get a check mark, we're done. So it's really, really useful, and we need everybody to do it. A couple new policies that are going to be out this year that you're going to get to read are a piece of the continuing requirements of AODA, the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act. You had a piece of that a couple of years ago, the Customer Service Standard. This is the next part. This is a multi-year project, and there are requirements that have to be fulfilled probably up to about 2025, I think, to actually meet all the requirements of this act to gradually instill in all aspects of work and life and community the rights of people with disabilities and how to ensure that they are protected and become commonplace everywhere. So this next piece is for our employees. This is for you. Individualized emergency response information. And what that is about is we are required to determine if there are employees in our workplace that have some needs that in an emergency, would they need some help in that emergency? So do they have a physical issue, an emotional issue, mental health issue, that in an emergency, would they need help? So we have a policy and a process in place that will allow people to self-identify if they choose to let us know that they might need some help, and then we would develop a plan for them as to what help would they need and make sure that that is in place for them. The Integrated Accessibility Standards is really just a policy that just lists some definitions and terminology that would be used in all our practices across the board as we develop these standards. So it's sort of a starting gate for what we would use in the future as we develop further procedures and practices to meet the requirements of the Act. The multi-year accessibility plan, you're not going to get that. It is available if anybody is interested. It is our internal agency document that lists year by year what we have to do and what our plan is to accomplish that and the target date for getting it done. Next year, I think the next couple of years, is more related to employment. So it's things like having to have statements on postings that say that we will, we're open to accommodation people that might have with disabilities, and some other things related to that around hiring practices. That's it. Thank you.